This is Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, commencing the Wales Ragchew Net. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and call for 5 check-ins, pass it round again, and pass it round those 5 check-ins and then call for another 5 check-ins. Doesn't always go like that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the correct mouse and I am going to clear the contents on the log. So, I managed to clear 2 of them. So, we clear them all. Rod doesn't want to go. Let's see if Rod calls in at number 3. What we do, we call for check-in number 1. So if you'd like to be number 1 in the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, Michael in Lebanon, Tennessee, United States of America, on the Wales Ragchew Net.
Yeah, Michael, got you in there at number 1, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. If you'd like to be number 2 into the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
GW5 VOG, Steve in Penarth, South Wales. Hopefully my new call sign's showing up in your system. But it says I'm unknown. Mind you, it says everyone's unknown. Anyway, back to you, Chris.
Okay, I've got you as GW5 VOG. We do know that is Steve. It was 2W0 VOG. I think you were coming through on the CQ Northwest side because you were coming up as their link call sign M0NWX. Got you in the log there, Steve. And we're put via CQ Northwest in there. So let's see if Rod calls in at number 3. G0EZ.
G0EZ, Rod in Cambridge.
Yeah, there we go there. I made an error on the deleting out, so just asked you to check in at number 3, but it works out already there. So, if you'd like to be number 4 into the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
2 Echo 0, Juliet Lima Tango, the name is Nick, the QCH is Congleton in Cheshire. Over to you.
Yep, I might have got a misprint there, but I would say misprint, typed it wrong there. I got the 2E0, I got Lima Echo Tango, but I don't think that's right. If you could just go again with the call sign.
2 Echo 0, Juliet Lima Tango.
Yep, thanks very much there. No contact details there, but it's all good. So, I did hear you coming in. Didn't see you coming on the dashboard anyway. Not a problem. So, if you'd like to be number 5 into the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Okay, nothing heard on the 5 check-ins there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go round into the normal net. So we're going to go up to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. Round to you there.
Thank you, Chris. This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, coming from a sunny Lebanon, Tennessee, United States of America. Started out as a cold, frosty morning, but it's warmed up quite a bit. And so we're having a nice day here. Looking forward to a nice net on over across the pond in Wales. Actually, it's in England, I guess, where Chris is right now. So we'll see how it goes. Having a good day, and looking forward to the net. And I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thank you very much there, Michael. And thanks for checking in there. And of course, yeah, I'm in England. I was going to be going mobile, but then that all went different. But yeah, I've got a nice new FTM 200, but it's currently fitted in the car. So yeah, it's been to Derby and back. And so of course, yeah, it was used then, but it was early hours of the morning, so there wasn't much around on the van. And then of course, yeah, it's going to the Lake District tomorrow and back. So we're going to go round to Steve, GW5 VOG.
GW5 VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Rod. And good evening, Nick. Yeah, you're right. I'm on cqnorthwest. I still haven't mended my DMR hotspot. I did try the little idea that you told me, and it didn't work. It's just completely dead. So I've blown it, I think. Anyway, I haven't got around to making my other hotspot. I've got the parts for, all that waiting to be assembled, but I haven't had chance. And then I can get back on DMR. DMR doesn't work too well on the Zoom spot that I'm using at the moment. It works nicely with Fusion and not so well with anything else. Not quite sure why. Anyway, yeah, apologies I wasn't here last week. I was in the building, but unfortunately I had to party with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and three boys and one girlfriend, and we had a pizza night. So I was stuffing myself with Domino pizza last week. So how about that for the food porn already? So back to you, Chris, M7CCS from GW5 VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Steve. And yeah, fried the hotspot there. Ken's put a thing on the live stream. He's tried to get in, but he didn't manage to get in. So I can see him sat there in the Echolink. So I will put GW4GJ in the log at number 5. So next we're going to go round to Rod, G0EUZ.
G0EUZ, back to the group. Yes, good evening, everybody. It's also been a nice day here, Michael. It started off, well, certainly not cold, but it was heavy rain this morning. But by lunchtime, it sort of evened out, and it's been quite pleasant for the rest of the day. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. Mind you, it's going dark now, 7 o'clock. And we're definitely well into the autumn. But we've had the heating on a few nights, but that's all, just evenings. So it's been okay. Radio-wise, I've not done an awful lot this week. I got the Yaesu FT818 out of its case. I had planned to sell it on eBay. But having fiddled about with it and found all the bits to it and everything, I quite like using it, so maybe I shouldn't sell it at all. And the only thing I'm missing at the moment is the carry strap. I know I didn't throw it away, but you know, I've spent 2 days, so I've obviously not looked in the right place yet. But yeah, it's been quite interesting, and I think I might be able to get it to the house on a bigger antenna. It's still portable, but I might get my local repeater inside the house. We shall see. So back to you, Chris. M7CCS G0 user.
Yeah, Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Rod. Now we're going to go round to, I didn't get personal, but we did get the call sign sorted, 2E0JLT.
2E0JLT. Today we have been doing Jota, Jamboree on the Air, with a group of local scouts and beavers at my clubhouse, which is South Cheshire Amateur Radio Society. It's been a great day. Sadly, we couldn't get anything on HF. Very, very noisy. There are a lot of computers downstairs that the scouts use, and I think all the switch mode power supplies were going mad with our HF. But on 2 meters, we were just finding nothing there. So we resorted to one of the members going down the street and doing transmissions from the clubhouse to them, so the scouts could get their badge. I think everybody, including me, went away happy, so it's been a good day. So I'll hand it back to you, Chris. This is 2 Echo 0 Juliet Lima Tango.
Yeah, Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Yeah, you're good to get there out there on the air there, and of course Jamboree on the air as well. So that's good as well. Good to get out there and be active. So we're going to go round now to Ken GW4 GJA via the Echolink.
Yes, evening Chris from GW4 GJA. Evening Chris and everybody else out there. Ken here in Massachusetts. Yes, I tried several times because I've been logged in since before you started, but I got beaten to it every time. Not that it matters. So YouTube, YouTube comes in handy for that. Right. Yes, I'm not using a DMR at the moment. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's not my favourite mode of the day anymore at the moment, so I tend to come up on here. I don't work much on it anyway, and I don't really have the time to mess around on it. Yes. I either sit in front of a radio operating properly, that's on the key or microphone or whatever, or nothing at all. I don't do much in the way of portable or using small radios, but that's the way it is. I'm such a busy person also, I don't get the time. Lots of things happening over the next couple of weeks. I'm not necessarily going to be at home, but there's a lot going on in my life at the moment and the family, so we won't go into that. I've been progressing with other radio projects in the garage bit by bit, also painting outside, which I got caught out yesterday with the rain. It's been horrendous rain here. I've never known a year for so much rain. It's been terrible. And, but we get over it. That's the main thing. Yes, Jamboree on the air was on today, I discovered, because I went up on 40 metres and, well, the band was packed solid with Jamboree on the air stations. It was good to hear it so busy. Signals were end stop with me all over the UK. Believe it or not, I couldn't work any of them. I tried to call in, and but there were so many people piling up. You're lucky to get heard. But I didn't really attempt it long enough. I just had a good listen in the end. But it's good to hear. The last time I did a Jamboree station, I operated for 2 of them many years ago. didn't work out very well at all. We didn't get any scouts arrive at the premises at the time, and on one of them. And the second one, because it was a failure one year, we did it at somebody else's home, QTH, one of the members' QTHs. And that wasn't very successful either. So, not had good experiences with Jamboree on the air, back in Kent, that was. Okay, I'll put it back to you there, Chris, but good to hear you there. Thanks again for coming up. I should be around. From GW4, GJA, Merthyr Thistle.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Ken. And, of course, yeah, it's all good there, mentioning Jamboree there, and of course the live stream is presenting out about Jamboree and how you can take part, and everything there. So, of course, yeah, we went to the Jamboree website there, and, of course, also known as Joti. So, yeah, it's all good there. I might be on the wrong website there, but of course, yeah, it definitely looks like to me number 6 into the Wales Ragchew Net. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Okay, nothing heard, so it looks like we're going to go round again one more time. So, we're going to now go to Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. Round to you there, Michael.
Thanks, Chris. This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. I heard a big buzz right at the end of your transmission. Don't quite know what that was. I think I heard last week also. But anyway, it's good to hear from you, Ed Rod. I hope you're doing better this week, and hoping things are going well for you. Stephen, when you mentioned Domino's Pizza, it threw me back to my Navy days. Every base that I was ever stationed at had a Domino's Pizza place not very far from the base. It was good, cheap pizza, and they always had some deals, especially for the military. And a lot of times they would hire the military guys, especially Navy guys, to deliver pizzas part-time. It was kind of a way to supplement their income, because Navy people didn't get paid very much. I guess with all the military didn't get paid much. And they could get on the base without having to go through all the rigmarole of the security checks, because they were already in the military. So we ate a lot of Domino's pizzas when I was in the Navy. Probably the reason I don't eat a whole lot of Domino's pizza these days. But anyway, that's the way it is. And thanks for the good memory. I've been working on FT8 this week and doing really well. The waves have been fantastic. 10 meters. I hit Mexico a couple of times this morning. Germany a couple of times, France once, and Puerto Rico a couple of times. So it's been a good day on the radio today. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, thanks very much there, Michael. So, yeah, you can see the QRZF on the page there, everything I'm doing there. Basically, Nick, I can go round to the actual hotspot that I'm actually going into there. I can go over to TGIF stuff. I can go over with other stuff I've been playing with. So, of course, yeah, there's a few things when you're presenting that it just all comes up now. Of course, there's the MB6IPG gateway. So, just a few things I've got on my screen there, and of course the chat there.
GW5 VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, good evening to Ken, who's added on, I think. So we've got 5 now. Yeah, I haven't been doing much radio, but I have got a new radio in my shack, which I've borrowed from my club. Because you probably remember me saying we bought this new fancy all singing, all dancing Flex 6600. So one of the older transceivers was sidelined to make room for it, and I could see it there. It's been lying around in the shack for about 3-4 weeks, looking like it was going to get damaged. They had it on the floor at one time, and that. So I said, I'll look after that for you. So I'm looking after it for them. It's a Kenwood TS590S. So I've had it for about 2 weeks, and first time I tried to use it last night, so I was listening on it. I don't think conditions were very good. It sounded a little bit watery, but then again, I haven't really learned how to operate it yet. I'm not used to pressing all these millions of buttons on the front. But I did hear Jamboree on the air. I can't remember the call sign, was abroad somewhere, was talking to scouts, and at one time he played music for about 15 seconds. I thought, what? And then this morning I had my FT70 via the hotspot attached to Northwest Fusion Group, and I heard scouts talking on that, who obviously you don't need anyone to operate it for you, because it sounded like they were just saying whatever they felt like. So anyway, it's all very good introducing these youngsters. So anyway, with that, back to you, Chris, M7CCS from GW5 VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, thanks very much there, Steve. So now we go round to Rod, G0, EUZ.
G0, EUZ. Back to the group. Yes, good evening to Nick there and to Ken. Yeah, Steve, I'd be interested to see how you get on with the Kenwood as time goes on. I know they're very nice radios. I've never had one of the bigger ones, the more modern ones, you know. Trio 830S is what I have. But they sound nice. They do sound nice. And oh yeah, I did have a TS450, which was a HF, and that sounded nice. You know, it was a nice radio. But I sold it anyway, which seems silly really. But yeah, I've not had the HF on this week. I have bought another radio anyway, a handheld, a 2 and 4 meters handheld. I've had one before, and I regret getting rid of it. I mean, although I didn't work a lot on it, but I saw it come up on Facebook Marketplace, so I jumped at it. But it hasn't been posted yet. So there you go. You never know, do you? So we'll have to wait and see. What else is? Yes, Michael. I had a blood test yesterday, and the results were reasonable. They were definitely better than the previous one a month ago, although they're still not perfect. And the leg is definitely healing, although I still can't wear a proper shoe. I'm having to wear, what do they call them? Crocs with no backing. Because that's, you know, it's right on the ankle bone, on the back of the ankle where the ulcer was. So I'm hoping that it heals completely before we get into some seriously wet weather. I did try and wear a pair of shoes today because it was raining and proper rain, but it did rub a bit and it was quite unpleasant. So I don't want to repeat that until I got something better. So there we go. So back to you, Chris. M7CCS, G0 user.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, you know when you've were thinking about something, yeah, you were mentioning it. I don't think it's something that's not working because it seems to all be working. Oh, that's what it was. I know what it was now. So yeah, it was in my head, and then I was looking, and I wasn't seeing. I was sort of see GB3LZ repeater, but yeah, I didn't see GB3WW repeater. So yeah, I'll try and shoot a message over and see if I can get that remedied. And yeah, I was looking at the check-ins and I was like, we had more check-ins off WW last week, but yeah, I know that Kev auto-scheduled it, but it doesn't look like the auto-schedule worked. It worked for certain nets in the week, but it doesn't seem like it did work then. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go round to Nick 2E0 Juliet Lima Tango.
Juliet Lima Tango. Yes, thank you for that, Chris. I'm relatively new to the world of amateur radio, only getting my first license 4 months ago, and I've been sort of doing crash course to get through to intermediate, and I'm determined to get to full. It has, if anything, rekindled an interest in electronics, which I haven't pursued for many, many years, and I've got the old breadboard out and been doing stuff again. So that's been quite good, and a few projects off AliExpress that need soldering up just to get my hands back in. But I'm 60 years now, and I have some medical issues, and I tremble a little bit. So trying to do surface mount components has been an absolute nightmare, and I've decided just to take 2 through hole. It just makes life a little bit simpler. But it's been good getting back into that, digging my old scope out and doing some waveforms on it. It's been really a good learning experience. And everybody I've met in amateur radio just seems such good chaps. It's been a very, very positive experience. And I'm very grateful to everybody that has supported me in my fumbling footsteps into this brave new world of amateur radio. So I will have to make this my final because I've got some friends just arriving, and I'd better get back to them, otherwise they're going to go a little bit off me and probably leave. So I'll hand it back to you, Chris. This is the final from 2E0JLT.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, with fireworks going off, can you believe? So yeah, there are fireworks going off. Yeah, just put the log up to show that 2E0JLT has 7.3 there. Fireworks are going off. I'm looking on the Ring doorbell, but I can't, well, when you're looking, you don't see them. But hopefully that's the end of it. That's them stopped. And the dog's shaking. So we're going to go around to Ken now, GW4, GJA.
Yeah, from GW4 GJA, yes, okay. And, okay, oh, well, I'm just watching the screen on YouTube. Yeah, right, where are we? Yes, all comments there noted. Yes, so welcome to 2EJLT there, the news station. Yes, it's a great hobby once you get into it. I've been at it since the age of 12, and I'm 77 now, so... I wasn't licensed until 1976, I think it was. 74, 75, I can't remember. Well, I did the RE back in the 60s, late 60s, and it's at least four years later before I actually applied for a license when I got the CW as well then. But by that time I built all sorts of stuff on tag strips really, because it was all velvet in the old days, wasn't it? And tag boards and tags to tag and so on. And then transistors came along. Didn't get involved with breadboards at all as such, but until more recently, the last few years, I've been messing around. Very useful. In fact, one of my projects is to build a transceiver on a breadboard. I did start, but the VFO worked all right. So I saw it the other day. I thought, oh, I never did go progress any further with that. It's a bit iffy, of course. It's all right for testing, but be interesting to see how it goes eventually. But I'm still trying to finish off my other transceiver, which is made up of all bits and pieces and odds, sods and sods. But if you ever visit my place, I have thousands and thousands of spare parts, and from vintage to modern day. I haven't got everything of course, but isn't it strange? You've got all this gear, and the one item you want, you've never got. It's always the same, isn't it? Murphy's Law, as they say. Yeah. But I can go into a drawer, I can pick out the valve holders, the valves, chokes, go into another drawer, the old early germanium transistors and so on, and then another drawer, more modern stuff, and then chips and CMOS devices. It goes on and on. And we'll stop at that point, I think. Yeah, so yes, it's been a hobby of mine. My late father was an electrical engineer as well, as I was eventually, but he was a self-taught radio TV engineer as well, so this is how I got my inspiration from, of course. And he built virtually everything we had at home as kids. We had homemade TVs a lot, so I was raised in it really. But there we are. Right, back to you there. See if there's anybody else about. The from GW4GJA. Oh, yeah, I'll say it. Yeah, I was going to say something else, but we'll do it on the next over.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, not a problem there, Ken. And, of course, yeah, do it on the next over. So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if anybody else would like to join in with the Wales Ragchew Net. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Of course, we've got 2 more listeners since last time. So if you'd like to go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and over, if you'd like to join the Wales Ragchew Net.
Kilo Bravo Niner Charlie Foxtrot Delta KB9CFD. This is Ken, Kilo Echo November in Chicago, Illinois, United States.
Okay, I think I got that right. KB9CFD, and that is Ken. Yeah, nice to get you there. I left a nice long gap there, and yeah, there was your key up there. Yeah, nice to get you in the log there. Hopefully I've got the call sign right, so we'll just quickly go back over to you there, Ken, and confirm. Kilo Bravo 9, Charlie Foxtrot Delta.
Yep, that is correct. This is Ken in Chicago. I just found out about this net on Facebook today, so I decided to try to give it a shot and tune in, and here we are. So hello to everybody that's listening in, and thank you for taking the net too. Appreciate it. This is KB9CFD, Ken in Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, not a problem there, Ken, and it's all good there, and of course, yeah, I found out about it via Facebook, and it's good to have you here, of course. Yeah, we've got the log currently is being shown on the live stream on YouTube, so we're on YouTube as well. So if you look for Chris, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, it'll be in brackets, Wales Ragchew Net. There's the channel, and of course, yeah, it'll be under the live tab, and yeah, it'll be going there. It might just be go scrolling away. You might have seen on Facebook a YouTube link as well. So of course, yeah, you might be able to click that there, Ken. So yeah, well, anyone is always welcome onto the Wales Ragchew Net. And of course, yeah, I noticed we were missing a gateway. So of course that is missing, but of course, yeah, you found a way in. So and you've come in from Chicago there. So yeah, you're probably a user of AMCOM, or is it AMCOM it's called? But yeah, as well. But yeah, we'll find out how you're getting in next time we come round to you. So we'll see if anybody else would like to go ahead with and check in. We did leave a nice long gap there, and then Ken got in. So is there anybody else on the side that would like to check in to the Wales Ragchew Net? Go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and then over. Okay, nothing heard. So left a bit of a gap there. So what we'll do is we will go back to the top of the list. And of course, I'm sure everyone will welcome Kim. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. Michael, over to you there. I better do a little bit of the food porn. So what can I remember? Well, what have I last eaten? So tonight I've had roasted pork, rice, and roasted vegetables. So yeah, that was nice. So that's a little bit of food porn to start off with. Over to you there, Michael. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Well, thank you, Chris. It's Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. Welcome, Ken, to our Wales Ragchew Net. Ken comes from the Chicago. That's called the Windy City here in the United States. Probably because it's right over by the Great Lakes, and it's probably very windy. One of my most favorite writers wrote one time that the coldest winter he ever spent was a week in Chicago. So I'm pretty sure it's getting ready to turn wintertime up here in a couple of months, and it's going to be just about like that. Food porn. Let's do a little food porn. My son cooked us a meal earlier this week. Actually, he brought us a meal that he had cooked. It was called pasta lega. It's a Cajun dish. For those of you who don't know what Cajun is, usually takes place down in Louisiana. It's a mixture of some French and some Spanish and some good old boys from down in Louisiana that cook together some very spicy food, and this was spicy. It was some pasta in a very cheesy white sauce. It had some mushrooms cut up in it that were very delicious. He had sauteed them, and some sausage and some chicken. And it was very thick, very stick to your ribs, gooey. It tasted very well. My wife also, for me this morning, cooked me an omelet. And every time I think about an omelet, I think about my father-in-law, because he used to think omelets were so exotic. He was a country kind of guy, very simple man, but he was a smart man. But he used to think that omelets were the best thing going, not realizing that it's really a very simple dish. So I think about him every time I have an omelet. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. An omelette is exotic. Well, it is in the sitcom Gavin and Stacey, or rom-com as it would be called over there. But of course, yeah. Of course, yeah, yes, Donna's calling out everything that we've eaten this week. But of course, yeah, we did have a beef stew yesterday as well, done in the slow cooker, so that was nice. So yeah, and she said fish as well. But that's and soup. But I don't think I had the soup. So we'll go around to Steve now, GW5 of VOG.
GW5 VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, good evening to Ken in Chicago. Another participant from the USA. I did see a post from NDAV in Long Beach today. I'm not sure, I can't remember what it said, but when I saw it, I thought, oh, it'll be on tonight. But maybe he was saying he wouldn't be. Should have read it, shouldn't I? So, yeah, and we get, is it David in Colorado Springs? So, if those two came on, we'd be more American than Welsh. Right. Rod, yeah, the SE, I think is an 817 you said that you were going to get rid of, but you got it out and you liked it, and you're going to keep it. I've got an FT818, which I bought second hand off someone at my club. I bought it almost 2 years ago, I think, and the idea was field. I've got the Z817 LDG tuner and a few bits and pieces that go with it, a nice stand, and I've got the case, and I've got the strap, and I've never used it. I've listened on it a couple of times. I've never actually done very much outdoor portals, I'm afraid. So what I use it for, I've got it in the shack, and I listen to Broadcast FM on it, so it's probably the most expensive Broadcast FM receiver I've ever bought. But one day I will get outside and use it, so there we are. As many people say, week after week, there's so many different things that you can do that it's difficult to do them all in our amazing hobby. And I thought it was Nick, who's gone now, I think, because he's got visitors. His new licensee, only a few months. That's really brilliant. It's nice to speak to people like that. And although I think
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, you've hit that timeout under GW5 of VOG. You have hit that timeout. So we're going to go round now to G0 EUZ Rod.
G0 EUZ. Yeah, good evening to Ken there. Yeah, Steve, my radio is the 818, and I've actually had it from brand new. I bought it brand new, I can't think how long ago, but certainly pre-COVID. And I'm the same, you know, I bought it to go on mobile, and I have occasionally done it, and but I must admit, you know, struggling with QRP is a bit hard work. I had a holiday not too long. It wasn't this year. It was last year, I think. And I took it with me in the Midlands. And I set it up with a long wire and a 4-to-1. And I actually did all right, but I have the Sota Beams speech processor as well, and the 817 tuner. So I did all right with it. But everybody said, you know, there was a bit thin on the audio and what have you. So I did buy a kit actually, to an amplifier kit that would do which is about 70 watts, I think. But when I thought about it, I might as well take the 450, the ASUS FT450 with me, because that's got the tuner built in, 100 watts and everything, so why bother? So that's why I decided to sell it. And then, like I say, you know, I don't actually need the money. I've nothing else to buy with it, so I might as well just hang on with it. And unfortunately, my son-in-law's going to have to get rid of all this kit when I pass on. But that's a long, well, hopefully it's a long way to go yet. So back to you, Chris M7CCS T0EZ.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, thanks very much there, Rod. So next we're going to go round to Ken via the Echolink, and then we're going to be going round to Ken in Chicago. So we're going to go round to Ken, GW4, GJA, Murphy Tittville.
Yeah, I'm Ken here, GW4 GJA, Merthyr Tydfil, South Wales, UK, even to the other Ken there from the States. Welcome. And yes, that's taking out ST450D with you out portable, well not portable but mobile is a good idea because it's 12 months anyway. I've got the ST450D myself. That was a new rig I bought some years ago. That was a few months before the Icon 7300 came out, otherwise I might have ended up with that. But I've got one for changing rigs regularly, so I tend to keep rigs for years. I used to have a Kenwood TS850 as well, myself. Lovely rig. I regret parting with it, really. I bought that second hand. It cost me as much as my brand new G90 did at the time. So the only SDR I own is actually a G90. The other conventional analog radio is the ACU-FT897D, which I picked up, although it's obsolete now. It's no longer made. I only bought it a few months ago, and brand new still in its box. I think they said it had been used once, and that was it. But it was literally brand new in its box. And so I paid as much as, well, I paid the price of a G90 for it, which was well worth it because at that price you couldn't buy a shack in a box like that. The 2 metre sideband as well as 77s and FM. I do have a Yaesu FT100D, which is very similar in its performance. But that's 23 years old now, 24 years old. That is got so many faults on it now. It's difficult. I can use it on HF. The VHF has got problems with on the receive. And my plan was to, once I got this other rig, to pull the other one apart and have a look at it, which I have since done, but I can't see the components properly on the receiver side. But I can replace the various sockets that are faulty, the encoder. I could do all that okay. But there's a lot wrong with it. Otherwise, it's a damn good radio still. And I've got that installed on this smartphone I'm using at the moment. It's very good. They've got the latest version on it now, software, and it's working extremely well. I had a good QSO late last night on it. And so if you've got an Android phone, or a laptop or anything, you can install it on there. I've downloaded the APK software. It's not on Play Store or anything like that. But there is a Facebook page for it. So with that, back to you there, Chris G from GW4 GJA.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, you timed out, well, you were okay in the Echolink, it seemed. Going straight onto the XLX server. But, of course, yeah, you timed out the WiresX side of things. Yeah, you got the timeout. Yeah, that's where I do the timeout from, is the WiresX, and when it gets down into red and then it goes to 0, that is a timeout. Yeah, you've got a timeout there, Ken. So we're going to go around to Ken in Chicago, KB9, Charlie Foxtrot Delta.
Well, hello and good evening. This is Ken, KB9, CFD in Chicago. It seems like we're talking about equipment here. Mine's going to be really short. I am using a Yaesu FTM 500D as my base station right now. I have an Elingo power supply, and my signal is going out from a Comet GP1 antenna, which is zip tied to my back deck. So nothing complicated, but it works, and I am definitely enjoying this hobby. I'm a short time person on this hobby here. I've only been doing this for not even 2 years yet, so I'm working on it. I don't have as much time to devote to it as I'd like, but I do it when I can. So again, it's great to be part of this net, and thanks for letting me in here. And you all have a great evening. This will be KB9 CFD, Ken in Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, you don't have to go shooting off there, Ken. I'll try and give you a call next time we come round. And of course, yeah, we pretty much go until about 9 PM my time. We'll shut it down around about then. Sometimes it goes on a little bit longer. What we're going to do, we're down at the bottom of the list, so we're going to see if anybody else would like to join the Wales Ragchew Net. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over.
Two Whiskey Zero, Alpha Papa Delta, Andy from Swansea.
Yeah, thanks very much there, Andy. And yeah, are you on talk group 6 or 2356? Hi. Yeah, nice to get you there, Andy. 2W0APD. Would anyone else like to check in to the Wales Ragchew Net? Go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over. Okay, nothing heard. So, yeah, to get you there, Andy. Also reading messages on my communication for W.D.R.G, WW even. Yeah, of course, Kev thought it was in, but yeah, scheduler obviously didn't schedule it for 87517. It worked all week, but it hasn't worked today. What we do, we go round the list again. So we go up to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Well, thank you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. And one of the other things I've been doing this week, a little bit off and on, is Parks on the Air. Having a real good time with that. I've really enjoyed it. I've hit over, I can't remember, 423, something like that, different parks. Because there's so many thousands of parks just in the United States alone, and about 600 and almost 700 QSOs in those parks. So I'm having a good time with it. It's going well. as I was mentioning to Donna earlier, we haven't had rain here in probably about 3 weeks since Hurricane Elaine came through. And so we're kind of dry weather, and that's kicking up the messed that up, our allergies. I'll put it that way. And so I've been taking some allergy medicine this week. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of restarted our allergies. Something I didn't pick up till I got into my 40s, early 50s, having allergies. I thought when you were born with them, you had them, but apparently not. You get them when you're an old man like myself. And with that, Chris, I'll turn it back to you. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yes, thanks very much there, Michael. And yeah, I always correct your call sign, and Donna just sits there chuckling because it doesn't come all the way through the network, the RIP bit. So yeah, you're Whiskey Alpha 5. Yeah, I've now been informed, and I can now see as well. Golf Bravo 3 Whiskey is now connected in. We're now connected over to South Wales again. The scheduler didn't quite work, it seems. Yeah, and I'm hearing that timeout of Ken in the background there. Yeah, Donna's live stream of the YouTube is way behind. We're going to go round to GW5 of VOG. Round to you there, Steve.
GW5, VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Good evening to Andy in Swansea. You've corrected the balance, one more Welsh person. Although actually the three of us who are in Wales that are on the net at the moment, I must say, I may be wrong, so don't be offended if I am. We all sound like we're not Welsh. I'm English. I was actually born in Liverpool, grew up in although my family has Welsh roots in North Wales, yeah, I didn't detect any broad Welsh accents with the other two anyway. So, yeah, we were talking about not having time to do radio. I went to my local club on Tuesday night, and so left the wife on her own then. Wednesday at 5:30, I had to go to a quite early RayNet monthly meeting. That's the emergency communication amateur radio group here in the UK, RayNet. And so I got back from there about 8:45 and came straight upstairs because I do a net on Wednesday night with some people from my local group. And so I walked straight past the wife, came upstairs and did the net, which didn't finish till about 10:20. Then Friday we do a Zoom meeting, which is a leftover from COVID days, but we still do it, the local club. So I did that, and there's a member that lives near me. He comes round to my house, and we do it together as a team. And anyway, she said to me she wanted to go to the cinema tonight to see The Apprentice, the new film about a young Donald Trump. And I told her no, I missed it last week because I was entertaining her family. So I had to do your net this week, and she was not very pleased. So we had a lot of sulking and a few nasty words and things. But anyway, we're friends now. But she realised that Saturday night in Cardiff, when the university students have just come back, probably not the best time to go when you're our age. So we're going. Time out again, Chris. So we're going to the cinema to see The Apprentice with Donald Trump tomorrow. So because I don't do any radio stuff on Sunday, apart from I guess 9:30 I come up to listen to the RSGB news. So there we are. So I think she thinks I do a bit too much radio. So with that, back to you, Chris. GW5 VOG.
7 Charlie Sierra. Well, I don't know. We're the wrong people to ask, aren't we? We're all on the radio. Hi. But it's a form of communication, and it's good to meet up once a week. Of course, the talk groups and everything itself is all there for the taking, as in for chatting in the week as well. I am around in the week during the day as well as doing the Ragchew Net as well. So the talk group can be used, and so can HubNet, can't it, Rod? I remember that one now. Do you know how many repeaters I discovered on my FTM200 that are connected to HubNet? We'll have to put a prize draw in for that one. Hi. We'll go round to Rod G0 EUZ.
G0 EUZ, back to the group, yeah. It's a surprise, really. I mean, my local repeater very often finds itself on HubNet as well. I don't know who does it, who puts it there, but although it's not connected to HubNet deliberately, it's actually on ALLSTAR. But or Freestar, I think it is. Ken GJA. I envy you in being brought up with radio and electronics. I love the idea, but I just have no knowledge whatsoever. I can follow a kit and do a kit. Although, to be fair, my soldering is nowhere near as good as it used to. Don't see as well, and got a shaky hand as well. So there we go. And again in Chicago, your station sounds very nice. I'm presuming the way you were talking, you were going through an analog repeater into the W.D.R.G. So all sounds very interesting. The radio, I mean, can't do without them, can you? That's where the fun is. But I have been listening to HubNet quite a lot recently. I built a node that works off AIOC cable. And that, because it's just plugged straight into the handheld, I have it running at about 2 watts, so it works fine on when I'm out with the dog. I can hear it. I've never really tried to get in it while I've been out, but there we go. Anyway, back to you, Chris. M7CCS G0 EUZ.
Mike 7 Charlie Sierra, and well, there are times when I'm talking to Rod and Hans on W.D.R.G. As long as we're on W.D.R.G, it's good. And basically, I can then use my WiresX notes. So walk round walk round with the dog, and I can talk on the radio still, and stuff like that. As long as we're on there, but quite often, they're coming up on the 2356. Of course, they're coming over there. They're go in there, seeing what they can drum there, and of course, that was a joke with Andy about that. Are you on 6 or 2356? But they were on different talk groups, and of course, I keyed in to test them for the Ragchew, and their hotspot switched over because they're running in dual mode. And then Hans came and was starting to having a gym whack with me over on W.D.R.G. Ron was left on 2356. He came over, and then they went back over on 2356, and they were having an argument about it. And I'm trying not to laugh, but it was quite funny listening, because I was listening on Brandmeister Hoseline, because I took my hotspot out of it for the net and everything. Yeah, it was funny. But of course, yeah, confusion 2356. Yeah, we watch this space. We might confuse you a little bit more. 2356 maybe coming back into the equation. Of course, yeah, via the Amcon service. But I said may. So we're going to go to Ken at GW4GJA.
Yeah, okay, from Ken here, Merthyr. Yes, yes, that software I mentioned on the talk pods and radios, or you can download the APK package for your smartphone, Android. It's called Linkspoon, I forgot to mention it. Linkpoon, I think it is. And anyway, it's very, very good. Yes, sorry about timing out, so I must keep it short. What was I going to say? Something I was just going to reply to somebody mentioned. I must be. I'm lucky that I was raised in radio, and that when I think about it, I was very fortunate, really, in a way. Lots of spare parts my dad provided through his place of work. Here's an interesting thing. My sister went to a talk, a discussion, or a historical talk down in Margate, where I come from originally. Yes, by the way, Ken, the other Ken, I am English as well. I moved from Sittingbourne in Kent 20 years ago to Merthyr. Well, I come from Margate originally, on the southeast coast. Anyway, my sister visited a historical talk about the Winter Gardens Theatre, because my dad eventually became chief electrician at the Winter Gardens Theatre in Margate. It's closed down last year, unfortunately. My father's passed away now some years ago. He built a radio microphone back in the 60s or 70s, and she said that radio microphone was actually mentioned because it was, I'm trying to think of the name of the 1960s female singers. Oh, I can't remember, can't remember. I remember saw it on YouTube. She loved this radio mic. It was built into an Airmore mixture tobacco tin. FM, he used an Eagle FM tuner, valve tunes to receive it. It was illegal, actually, at that time. And she asked him to make one, but he said no, because it's not allowed. He was testing it out, sort of beta testing it. And I've actually got that Eagle tuner here, and I've got that microphone, radio mic. And I must get around to powering it up. It works on a PP battery in an Airmore mixture tobacco tin with a nice little, looks like a dynamic mic coming off it, quite a large thing. And it was belted up around your waist, I think. So that was quite interesting. My sister was quite surprised. So she had to work with the speaker and mentioned that her brother had got that actual microphone. So I'm quite willing to hand it over to them for the museum if they wanted it. Anyway, with that, I'll keep it short. So back to you, Chris, GW4GJA.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, thanks very much there, Ken. Keep it short, he says, 30 seconds left. But, yeah, it was all good. So, we'll see if Ken in Chicago is still with us, KB9 at Charlie Foxtrot Delta. And, yeah, if he's going for an analog gateway, he's probably going through the cqnorthwest system. That might be why there isn't so much transcoding going on call sign-wise. So, are you still with us, Ken? KB9 at Charlie Foxtrot Delta. Okay, we're giving the honorary 7-3 there, because he may have said it the last time, but I didn't quite catch it. So we go round to Andy now, 2W0APD in Swansea. So yeah, you'll see if you're watching the live stream, I've put it in there for you.
2 Whiskey Zero, Alpha Papa Delta returning on Talk Group 6 of the XLX. But yeah, that was quite funny this morning. I spoke to Ron previously, just got plagued with broadband issues. They started up again, but at the time, hands joined. Yeah, I've got the Open GD77 that's in promiscuous mode, and I was just listening to it all. I'm just thinking, I can get both sides of the conversation, but why are you jumping around and couldn't work out between them what they were doing? I just said, is this a Fox and the Hound thing or something? You played a new game, and it just went downhill from there, but I couldn't stop giggling, so yeah, I was laughing for around 45 minutes as they went round and round in circles, not knowing which one was the other, because they kept changing talk groups, but yeah, it was hilarious, but I guess you had to be there. But yeah, no, I'm originally from Wales, just lived in London for the last 20 years, so I think I lost a bit of the accent. I don't know, some say I still have it, some say I don't, and I've forgotten how to pronounce Welsh names of various name places. I'm still relearning them and still mispronouncing them, so hey, that's life. But yeah, otherwise getting stuck into VRM and bridging in digital modes and just seeing what we can do down here. I know Kev's working hard on the repeater and he's trying to do stuff with TGIF and stuff now, but it's complicated. There's more moving parts behind the scenes, and yeah, I'm chatting to the System X guys how they've forked from 3DMR and why they've done things different and why is their software different, and looking at that, and yeah, that's me deep diving into the technical stuff. I want to know the black magic of DMR, but yeah, getting there slowly. I said this week disappeared up into Sheffield for work, wasted a day's driving for a cancelled meeting, stayed overnight, had some fun, and then another day's driving back, so still recovering from a lot of time on the road. Body's just not used to it anymore, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, fun week other than a lot less radio than normal. But I'll check it back to you and the rest of the group now, so thanks, Chris. M7 Charlie Sierra from 2 Whiskey Zero Alpha Papa Delta.
Yeah, Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Yep, I was in stitches there, Andy. Right, I was about to just throw it straight round the top of the list, but of course, yeah, we're at the bottom, and of course, I know that W is with us now as well, and of course, yep, I can see a photo user of David in Northumberland, G7SRE, and Nigel, 2W0NPZ, so 2W0NPZ, and let's see what the little loggy tells me nothing, but yeah, we know his name's Nigel from the Echolink. So we're try for David in Northumberland, G7SRE on the Wales Ragchew Net via Echolink. Okay there, David. Right, yeah, your V-Photo T320. Yeah, the audio is very, very muffled. We didn't catch anything of that. Nigel, yeah, he jumped out of the Echolink pretty much as soon as I mentioned him. So, of course, what we're going to do is we're going to see if anyone else would like to join us on the Wales Ragchew Net. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over.
Yeah, just quickly say that G7 SRE, he's got his mains charger on. I mean, it was hum. I could hear him okay, but your mains hum was horrendous, just to let you know. Okay, thanks very much. I'm just trying to charge the battery as well as speak to you. But definitely thanks for the acknowledgement, and I'll catch up with you next week, no doubt. I just thought I'd quickly jump in. Thank you, bye-bye.
Yep, okay, yeah, thanks very much there for the audio report there, Ken. And of course, yeah, the G7 SRE, yeah, you were audioable that time. The audio was low to me there, David, but I could make it out by turning the radio up that time. But yeah, that main hum has now gone, as Ken referred to it. So, what we do, we go to the top of the list, we go to Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. Round to you there.
Well, thank you, Chris. It's Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. I've been running on 2 and 10 meters on running FT8, and it looks like I'm hitting all around Europe today, so 10 meters is wide open for those of you that are interested in doing FT8, and it looks pretty good out there. Just enjoying the net today. We've got a lot of different people in. It's been a good time, and so we got about 15 minutes left in it, so can't argue with the success of the net today, Chris. But I do want to ask you, this new radio you got, how are you liking it? What are the features that you like the best about it? And I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, India Papa. Thank you very much, Michael. And yeah, the one feature that I like the most is the waterfall at the bottom. If I press the D button or the display button, I get a waterfall. If you're in VFO, so it's handy to find those signals. Yeah, I didn't answer Rod's question, did I? But yeah, I found in total, and of course, yeah, I put in some gateways and whatever. But I found in total, at one time, that waterfall can zoom up with 5 bars, and all of them being HubNet. So, yeah. But, yeah, I like the waterfall bar. It also gives you a kind of waterfall bar when you're in memory mode as well. I like that you can write a memory on the fly with the memory write button as well. It's got a record function. So, yeah, I've programmed that into one of the keys on the mic, so if you're mobile, you can pretty much, you're having a QSO, you can put it into record, and then listen back to it later. Of course, yeah, you know, you can get the call signs and log them. So, yeah, that's a handy little feature with it. Yeah, the headless mode, well, that's nothing new to me, because, of course, that was already with the FTM 100. But, yeah, that's a good feature as well. Yeah, the screen is small, but it's not too small. Of course, yeah, it is a pretty easy, I say it's user-friendly radio. Some people may struggle with it, but yeah, it is a nice radio. I'm not looking at it at the moment because it is in the car. It's ready to go on the journey to the Lake District tomorrow. Yeah, Siri's trying to ask me questions, silly thing, as well, and answering itself as well, without me saying anything. So, yeah, they say AI is brilliant. It's trying to take the world over. Right, I've got 50 seconds, so I'm going to go round to G5 at VOG.
GW5 VOG returning, thank you, Chris. Yeah, one thing just crossed my mind. Talking about, I think Rod was talking about building kits, and Ken. I'm pretty cack-handed at soldering. Haven't had very much experience, so I haven't done really any kit building apart from in the good old days you had to do something for our intermediate. And I built an Essex ham, 2 meter, I think it is, timeout timer. So you turn it on, and then when you go on to a repeater, it senses the and starts the count, and you set it to 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 4 minutes, and it counts down and then gives you an alarm as you get into the end. Now, I made it, and it sort of worked, and I've never used it, and I've put it away somewhere and forgotten about it. So perhaps I better get it out, seeing as I've timed out twice tonight. But it might come in handy, you never know. So, yeah, that's the thought. So I might get the old soldering iron out and have a look at that. Anyway, the new radio, is that the FTM 200? I think a year ago, a couple of video of yours. It looks very nice. So there we are. Excellent. So I mustn't time out. I pretend I've got my Essex ham on, and it's just given me the nod that I need to finish now. So M7CCS from GW5VOG. Back to you.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, all the Essex ham kit, the repeater board, also available from other places, China. But of course, yeah, the board, you get to put it all together, and yeah, it senses the RF, and then yeah, but if it's sensing the RF for so long, then yeah, it starts to tell you that you're going to time out. And by giving you like a little audio beep or a light beep, yeah, and they're good. I was going to get myself one. I never did. But yeah, the question on that, for when it comes around to you next time, how does it favour if you're talking on 2 meters, all digital, and doing FT8? It's going to sense 2 sensors of RF. Do you just tune it for the band you want it for? So we go round to Rod now, G0, EUZ.
G0 EUZ, back to the group, yeah. No, it sounds like an interesting piece of kit, though. Probably will. I've never even heard of it, but yeah, it sounds interesting, though. I've done quite a lot of kit building. It's all worked eventually, but I've never sort of stuck with it. I think there's a dandy there talking about a scope. I have a brand new scope there, but I don't know what to do with it. No idea how to read it, set it up, or anything. But there you go. Something you know I bought, and I thought that'd be a good idea. I had a broken radio at the time. I thought I'll leave it. I never did. I sold it for parts. So there we go. Steve, I wonder how did you get on with Miss Tastic? I've given up altogether. It was doing nothing at all. You know, I was receiving messages, replying to them, and getting no replies. Nobody ever called me or anything, you know. So I've given up. They're both unplugged at the moment. I had one in the car and one in an upstairs bedroom window. I certainly saw, you know, on the app, I saw plenty of stations around me. You know, they all seem still the same stations there, so not everybody's dropped out. They just don't seem to do anything with it. So back to you, Chris. M7CCS G0EZ.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, I found it. They've also put a handy little video on it. I can see the strobe light traffic effect going as it is near the time, mate. So it's got like a traffic light system on there, and then like a strobe light goes when you're about to time, mate. So yeah, blue strobe light.
Yeah, okay, from Ken here. Yes, I was just looking at that repeater timeout kit. Well, I don't need things like that. I do it in my head. Unfortunately, it's got a few errors. Oh, dear. Anyway, good little kit from the looks of it. But, yeah, I used to be terrible in the old days. When I was a service engineer on the road, I was working for CCOM, security systems, and I used to use GP3KN on Dretling Hill and also the Dover repeater. And I used to time out on there. It was terrible. But in those days, I'm going back a long time now, there was a lot of activity. You go down to Kent now, you won't hear anybody or anything. It's very, very quiet now. And don't know where everybody's gone. They've all disappeared, I'm afraid. They were good days of mobile radio. My first mobile radio was a Heathkit. I built it from a kit. Oh, hundreds and hundreds of parts. It was only 6 channels, 6 crystal control channels, 6 meg rocks multiplied by 24 times. No oscilloscopes or anything like that. Nothing. You did it all by meter, and you just counted the number of harmonics using a multimeter with a diode probe, and you say, right, that next stage, what the third harmonic. So you watch the meter, analog meters we had then, you watch the meter go over, and then the weaker one, the next one along, the third one would be the weaker one. That was your third harmonic, and then you go on to the next stage and so on until you reached the 2 meter band on the transmitter side. That was 24 times multiplication on a 6 meg rock. Interesting times, of course, those days. We had 12 meg rocks on some radios and so on. Good days they were. Very educational, because that's what ham radio is all about. That's what amateur radio is. It gives you the power to build and design equipment. That's why you have to pass these exams, so that you can prove to the authorities. Anyway, mate, it's all my final, so I wish everybody 73s. I will be listening. And many thanks for the QSO and your time there this evening, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks very much there, Ken. And, of course, always good to have you on there. Of course, yep, you're 7 freed now as well. That's all good. So next we go round to Andy, 2W0APD. But anyone, watching the live stream, be interested to see that, although it's on the Essex Ham website, the link is dead where you can buy the kit. And when I actually put a repeater timeout kit into Google under shopping, it didn't give us what we were looking for. Hi. Right, we go round to Andy, 2W0APD.
M7 Charlie Sierra from 2 Whiskey Zero Alpha Papa Delta, returning to the group. Yeah, I just googled the repeater timeout kit as well, and yeah, it looked fairly interesting. And as I tried to click deeper and look for the links and where the code is, it was just website.found. So yeah, that project's probably just disappeared into the ether, but I was just interested in what the code was on that Arduino. Was it Nano? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Nano, the small ones. Still got about 4 of them tucked away in a box somewhere because I use them for miscellaneous stuff. But as Ken was saying, yeah, it's I don't know. It's like the exam's a bit odd these days. I agree with him that it's all to do with you've got the background to build and design your own radios, but not many of us do it these days. We're like Americans. We just buy these big fancy black boxes and we run them. So. Yeah, it's a bit controversial, but I'll leave it there. But moving on, yeah, as I said, just DMR is a dark art in itself, and still helping people with code plugs and networks and different networks and DMR gateways. Yeah, nothing's ever simple, is it? We've always got to be different. We've always got to do things our own way. We've got to build things in our own specific personal preferences, in our own personal way, and I think that's what makes it an interesting hobby in a way. At the end of the day, it's just a hobby. We're all experimenters, and we're free to do whatever we want, as long as it's within the rules. But yeah, it's fun though. It's very interesting. I'm still cracking up over this morning. I just can't believe it. Oh, I was giggling for I'm still giggling now the way thinking back, but I was giggling half for an hour after Ron and Hans said their 73s. But yeah, nice bunch of guys, and yeah, it's a good network. So you're doing well there, Chris and Co. So yeah, I'll pass it around to the next guy from 2 Whiskey Zero Alpha Papa Delta.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Yeah, I remember that project when I first got licensing. You could get them. You could get them on Amazon. You could get them on eBay. And yeah, I've looked on eBay now. And yeah, you can't get them. That's a shame, really, that project's gone, because that really would be a project that you could purchase, and you could build it, and it actually goes towards brickworks as well. So yeah, affiliated clubs of brickworks, of course, yeah, you can have a build project, and of course, yeah, that would actually guarantee the build. Of course, yeah, we build hotspots, but of course we just put the hat on. We do a bit of soldering if we buy the Raspberry Pi without the headers on. So we do a bit of soldering then. If you build your own ALLSTAR nodes, you'll do a bit of soldering. And of course, yeah, you do a bit of soldering by doing your VR259s. But of course, yeah, building in a sense is a different type of building, isn't it? So when it comes to network building, yeah, it's PC is involved and stuff like that. But of course, yeah, if you do hardware encoding, which this system is, then there is still a building factor. And yeah, I like to build a couple of things, a couple of projects, and of course, yeah, it's good if you build something and you use it. So that's all good there. So what we're going to do is we are going to do the 7-3 range. We are going to go to the top of the list. So we're going to go to Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa for his last over, and it's 7-3.
Thank you, Chris. This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, from a very sunny Lebanon, Tennessee, United States, and been enjoying the net day. Great people on it, and I hope everybody had a good time. Going to make this my 73 because it is the 73 round. Hope everybody has a great week. We all join up next Saturday, and maybe even add to it, get some more people involved. But it's been a great net today, Chris. Thanks for hosting the net, and appreciate the information on the radio. May have to look into it myself. Just what I need, another radio to add to the collection. Hope everybody has a great week, and 73 for everybody from Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. And I'm going to hold the button for just a second.
Yeah, 7-3, see you there, Michael. And of course, yeah, we'll catch you next week, hopefully. So we'll go round now to Steve, GW5 of VOG for your 7-3.
GW5, VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, 73 to everybody. Been very interesting tonight. And we had one or two new people on, which is always good. So, yeah, it's been a good night. Made up for me missing it last week, I think, in my case. Maybe, Chris, I'll have to dig the repeater timer kit out. I might be able to sell it at a profit. To be honest, I've never ever used it. I can't really remember how it works, or whether it works well or not. I just sort of did it, because I had to do it, and showed it to the guy at the club, so there we are, and he sort of didn't go very deep into it, really. What you could get, actually, it would be a lot cheaper and a lot easier. It would be an egg timer for three minutes. I was thinking that, so I might get one of them, actually. That would be a good idea. Yeah, so I don't know if any of you UK guys out there watched the RSGB convention last weekend. They live streamed it on Saturday and Sunday. And there was one lecture from an Irish guy who was actually Polish, but he lives and he's licensed in Ireland. And he does something with the International Amateur Radio Union thing, and he's been working on the HAREC standards or something, you know, where the harmonization of the examinations so that we're all up to the same technical standard, so you can use licenses in other people's countries if you're going to live there for a few months. And you're entitled to get one of their full licenses if you've got a full license. And it was a really interesting talk, and he was really funny as well. So if anyone can find that, I recommend watching it. So there we are. Anyway, thank you, Chris, for being net controller. Holding on to his PTT button at the end. Something I'm guilty of a bit, I think, and I always think I'm going to do it properly this time, and I never do. So, and that's 3 times. You must get a special prize for M7CCS, GW5VOG, wishing everybody 73. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, I heard that your radio did beep, and then you actually timed out. So, yeah, we got the time out and had to jump between scenes and get that time out as well. So, yeah, we did sort it. So you timed out there, Steve, and, of course, yeah, interesting, those RSGB conventions, and I did get it up and managed to start presenting some stuff. So, yeah, you were on about Rafael Lukowici, yeah, EI1 6LA, that's easier, isn't it? He talked about the future of amateur radio licensing and education. So, of course, yeah, it's all accessible on the web there. So, we're going to go round to Roger now, G0EUZ, round to you for your last over and 7-3.
G0EUZ, back to the group. Yeah, no, it's been an interesting night, and like you say, Steve, a few new voices on the air, which is always great. It just adds to the variety, doesn't it, on the net? So it's been very interesting, and as usual, we've covered a few subjects. But so yeah, I'll say 7-3 to you all, and I hope you all have a nice week, and we'll catch you next weekend. M7CCS, G0EUZ. Night night, everybody.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Yeah, 7-3 there, Rod. And you never know, might catch you somewhere. But there's quite a lot of those gateways around when I'm travelling. Might catch you somewhere tomorrow. Hi. So we go round to Andy now, 2W0APD, round 2 for your last over and 7-3.
2 Whiskey 0 Alpha Papa Delta, returning to the group for 73s. Yeah, cheers all, sorry it's a bit late, difficulty connected in, but we got there in the end, and yeah, it's interesting talks towards the end, and as the last person said, was it Ken? I can't remember, should have been notes. Yeah, the talk from Rafał Lujecki, or I probably messed up his Polish name, cracking presentation. Totally agree with him, totally right. Needs to be revamped. Don't know what they're doing over in Bletchley Park or Bedford Way with these exams. That needs to be rethought. But as I said, I've gone quickly through foundation and intermediate and thinking, what are we doing? I'm not using what I studied. You know, I'm not going for the full studying hard. I can get it if you're building radios, but we're just not doing them today. It's more operational, isn't it? And how to program them. You know, these Japanese, you know, inventors so good that, you know, everything's sort of microprocessor and micro small on the boards that it's, you know, you're not going to do it as an amateur really. It's more usage, but there's me rattling on. But yeah, it's been a good night. Thanks to all, and catch you next Saturday. If not, there's always hopefully the Monday and Wednesday nets if City's still around. So 73s, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and catch you next week. All the best from 2 Whiskey 0 Alpha Papa Delta.
Yeah, Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, it's of course there are those nets on Monday and Wednesday, so yeah, you'd be around for them. Of course, you can join that and walk the dog with WW's LinkedIn. It seems that somebody's unlinked it again though, unfortunately. So it looks like yeah, that sort of thing's going on. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through who we had in the net. So we had Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. We had Steve, GW5 VOG. If you actually connect to our system, you might transcode us that next week. G0 EUZ. We had 2E0 JRT Nick. We had GW4 GJA. Ken in Merthyr We had 2E0 PXW Barry listening and 2E0 UFS listening, cuddling on a sofa with some popcorn. Hi. We had KV9 CFD, Ken in Chicago. We had 2W0 APD Andy in Swansea. We had G7 SRE David via the Echolink, and Nigel 2W0 ONPZ listening. So I was Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. So of course, yeah, that's the end of the Wales Ragchew Net. 7 for real.